So lately I've been a little lazy and I've been putting off some important things in my life like making videos and other stuff, and I've been relying too much on tomorrow, saying that I'll do it tomorrow because I'll have more motivation, I'll be more energetic, and all that bullshit and excuses we usually tell ourselves. So the other day I was thinking about how I can get myself out of this procrastination rut, and I asked myself a question. What usually makes me productive and consistent? What actually helps me get stuff done? And only one thing came up in my mind. And it wasn't motivation, it wasn't any productivity technique, but it was forcing myself to do something. That is the thing that works every time and helps me do my stuff. I end up getting things done when I force myself to do it. And that doesn't sound very exciting, right? It's not very motivational, but it is the harsh truth. Most days you don't want to work. You're not feeling like it.
I don't wanna work. I just wanna bang on this mug all day.
Did you ask me here for any specific reason?
Even the most disciplined and productive person you know feels like procrastinating pretty often. And it's not easy to stop laziness and procrastination. It's always hard and uncomfortable. It's always hard to beat this feeling when you're tired, in no mood, and you feel like crap. And there are also these distractions around you. A new movie or a new video game came out. There are a lot of videos you want to watch. There's social media. So it's much easier to say, screw it. I'm gonna work, I'm gonna study tomorrow. And this is exactly when forcing yourself comes in handy. Let's say you're a student and you have to study for an exam. So you have a lot of information to remember, a lot of things to learn. You probably need to study for 5 hours. But you don't really feel like it. You have no motivation to study right now. So what you can do is get done a small part of it. Just force yourself and study for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes. That seems much easier than studying for 5 hours, right? It is important to do at least something. Read 10 pages out of those 50. Run 1 kilometer instead of 4, but do it. And yes, you may think, oh, but this is too little, it seems very insignificant, so it's better to do the whole thing tomorrow. But the big question is, are you gonna do it tomorrow? I wouldn't rely so much on tomorrow because you may feel the same or even worse. But if you do it today, if you do a small part of your work now, then tomorrow you're gonna have less to do. You're gonna be one small step closer to getting the whole thing done. So when you don't have any energy and you're not motivated, you have to force yourself and do something, anything, because doing a little work is much better than doing nothing. Let me tell you how this forcing yourself thing works in my life. So let's say I have to make a video, and if I wake up in the morning and I don't really feel like it, like I'm not in the mood to make a video, and also when I'm thinking about all the work I have to do, all the planning, writing, filming, editing, when I think about that, it feels very overwhelming and I don't want to do it. It will feel much better to play a video game or scroll through my phone. So the best and only thing I can actually do is try to force myself into it. I say to myself, okay, I don't feel like doing anything right now, but what if I start doing at least something small? Why don't I take this idea I have for the next video and try to write a couple of thoughts about it? Also, I could think about the title and how the thumbnail would look like. I can do that, it doesn't seem that hard. So I just start doing it. And many times by doing something small, by doing just a little part of my work, it makes me feel better, it inspires me. And I may think, okay, now that I have a couple of thoughts and notes on the video, I have my title ready, I know how the thumbnail should look like. Why don't I take my camera and actually go and shoot this thumbnail? And there you go, you see, the process started because I did something that motivated me to do even more. And I got one small step closer to making the whole video and uploading it. But at first, I didn't want to do it, I didn't feel like it. Many times by just getting done something small, it motivates you, and you end up doing much more. But even if you didn't end up doing more, even if you completed only a small task, it's still a win, because you did at least something. It's much better than doing nothing. It's better to force yourself and put in the smallest effort today than wait for tomorrow. And imagine if you did at least a little work on all those days when you had no motivation. If you got done a small part of the job, how much further would you be now with your project, with your studying, with your videos, or whatever you do? Another example I can give from my life is working out. Man, again I'm talking about working out. It's like I'm talking about it in every video, but what can I do? It is a part of my life. So many times in the evening after working, I feel tired and I don't really want to do any physical activity, but I force myself and go work out anyway, at least for 20 minutes. And yeah, many times I end up doing the worst workout. I just do it for the sake of doing it because I don't want to skip days. But sometimes by being in this process, I start enjoying it. I start feeling better. And I end up working out more than I planned to. So at the end of the day, it is about forcing yourself. This is how you build self-discipline, through forcing yourself to do what you have to. I have an interesting thought about all this. You know, everyone had or still has a job that they don't like, and they work there only for the money. So if you think about it, you are pretty disciplined with your job. Because even if you don't like it or even hate it, you go to work 5 days a week regularly and you spend there 8, 10 hours a day. You're disciplined, right? You can't say, you know, today I don't feel like it, so I'm not gonna go to work. I'm gonna go tomorrow. You can't do that because if you miss days with no reason, there are gonna be bad consequences. You're gonna get fired and you're not gonna be able to make money. So you are disciplined. You wake up in the morning and whether you feel like it or not, you force yourself and you go to work because you know you have to. So why don't you take this approach? Why don't you do the same thing with the habits you're trying to build, with studying, with working from home, with doing other important stuff in your life? And I understand that some people may say that this is toxic self-help advice and you should never force yourself, you should never feel uncomfortable. But that is not true because this is good for you. In this case, forcing yourself is a positive thing. It's for your own improvement. It makes you better. And if you think about it, what else can you do? You can't just sit and wait for a better day, for a perfect morning, or for a great Monday when you will be so motivated, you'll have so much desire to get your stuff done. And yet, there are some days like that, but unfortunately, most days are the total opposite. So you have to do something about it. And I assure you, you will never regret a single time in your life when you force yourself to do something you know is good for you, or something that feels uncomfortable but you realize it has to be done. Try to remember a day in your life when you didn't want to do anything, when you were so unmotivated, but you forced yourself and you worked anyway. You did something. Weren't you a little proud of yourself? Weren't you happy that you did something instead of wasting time? And maybe some of you clicked on this video to get some motivation or to get some easy techniques on how to avoid procrastination. But I don't know any easy techniques, any easy methods. If you know some, write them in the comments below. But this whole video is about the harsh truth, which is maybe not very pleasant to hear, not very motivational, but it is the truth. If you want to get something done, if you want to stop putting things off, you have to get off your ass, force yourself, and go do what you have to do. That's it for this video, and now I know that you don't really feel like doing it, but force yourself and click that like and subscribe button because it helps me a lot, it helps my channel grow, and it helps you. Because if you're subscribed, you're not going to miss future uploads. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.